Ever pondered why China decided to sell a record amount of US bonds recently? Let's travel back in time a bit to better understand this complex issue. Our journey begins in the first quarter of this year. During this time, Beijing divested a total of $53.3 billion in treasuries and agency bonds combined, as revealed by the latest data from the US Treasury Department. This marked a shift for China away from dollar assets, a move that wasn't taken lightly. While they were busy selling US securities, China also increased its purchases of gold and other commodities. This two-pronged approach served to diversify their portfolio, a crucial strategy in today's uncertain economic climate. Analysts have suggested that this reduction in foreign exchange reserves could be part of China's broader strategy to diversify away from US dollar-denominated assets. This move was potentially triggered by rising geopolitical tensions with the United States. Delving deeper, experts have pointed to the economic impact of Western sanctions on Russia following the Ukraine conflict. They speculate that China seeks to mitigate similar risks. The seizure of Russian assets by the US and other G7 countries, including threats of expropriations and sanctions, likely prompted China to reduce its exposure to US Treasury assets. In fact, the Brussels-based clearinghouse Euroclear, often seen as a custodian of China's holdings, disposed of $22 billion in US Treasuries during the reporting period. This is a significant move that further underscores China's shift away from US dollar assets. With China being the second largest foreign holder of US Treasury securities after Japan, this sell-off could potentially unsettle the Treasury market and raise US borrowing costs. Economists argue that this could happen despite the fact that we are closer to a Federal Reserve rate cut cycle. Stephen Chu, Chief Asia Foreign Exchange and Rates Strategist at Bloomberg Intelligence, suggested that China's selling of US securities could speed up as the US-China trade war resumes, especially if Trump returns as president. However, it's not all about selling for China. While they are offloading dollar assets, their holdings of gold have surged. The share of the precious metal in reserves climbed to 4.9% in April, the highest since records began in 2015, according to the People's Bank of China. In summary, China's decision to sell a record amount of US bonds marks a significant shift away from dollar assets, potentially driven by geopolitical tensions and a desire to diversify their portfolio. These actions have potential implications for the US Treasury market and could lead to increased US borrowing costs. As we move forward, it will be interesting to see how these developments unfold and their impact on the global economy.